Good afternoon, this is Stormcastle, Stormcastle's Comics Collectibles, and I wanted to show off my copy of King Size Special Mighty Thor number 2 from 1966. It's not the main story I want to show off, it's actually down here. Extra, representing the very first appearances of the Viceroys of Villainy, the Enchantress and the Executioner. I love the Enchantress and the Executioner. The Begging Thor, the more current Immortal Thor storyline, Enchantress has been in there, and she's even getting this amazing looking cover coming soon. In April, we get this awesome Enchantress cover, and she first appears in Journey to Mystery 103, which unfortunately I do not have. I've never had a copy. I've wanted a copy. And she helps Baron Zemo form the first Baron Zemo form the Masters of Evil. She helps, gives Wonder Man his powers and everything. So she's a very early Avengers villain. And she's been evil for a long time. Then she kind of changes, but not really. And the Executioner is always been her kind of fall guy kind of thing. Recently, he died in a very big battle in the 80s, sacrificing his life to hold off the hordes of hell. We have seen the Executioner in the MCU in Thor Ragnarok, but we have not seen Enchantress. People are like, oh, that's Sylvie. It's not really Sylvie. That's a variant of Loki. So I'm hoping we're going to get more at some point. But anyways, enough of my talking. Want to look at the book here. Show us off. And, it's the last story, but the first one is Who Dares Defies the Destroyer, which is scripted by Stan Lee. Imagery by Jack Kirby. And, the Mighty Thor If Asgard Falls. See the staples in here. It said I got this book a few months ago. It's a Destroyer story. I mean, the art is pretty amazing. But then again, it is Kirby. Even these two, all Kirby's art is always a pleasure to look at. There's Loki off in space. But anyways, want to get to there's Destroyer there. Want to get to the Enchantress story. So, the second story is a reprint of Journey to Mystery number 9, Defying the Magic of Mad Merlin. Story plot by Stan Lee, script by P. Burns, arts by Joe Sano, and lettering is by Artie Simic. Has a much different look. Here's a good James Foster, but the Mad Merlin, which honestly we get to see a Merlin character in Marvel an awful lot. It's never the same Merlin. So, okay, and here we go. This we're looking for. The Mighty Thor, menaced by the Enchantress and the Executioner. Originally presented in Journey Mystery number 103. Written by Stan Lee, Master of Fantasy. Take that as what you will. Illustrated by Jack Kirby, Master of Pictodrama. Inked by Chick Stone and lettered by S. Rosen. So anyways, this is it. Swinging his enchanted hammer at twice the speed of light, the mighty Thor leaves the future where we left him last issue. He travels back through time. Back. At mine staggering speeds until, at last, I have returned to the 20th century. I wonder what new perils await me. He was fighting, I believe, Zarko, the Tomorrow Man. So he comes back, and he's tired for a second. And the guy's like, I'll have to ask you to move, Thor. You're causing traffic jam, because, that happens. And Thor flies off, and he comes back, and he changes himself and back to Dr. Donald Blake. And he gets back to, but he's tired. He's fought in time, space, and he falls asleep in front of a stethoscope, in front of a microscope, not a stethoscope. And it's really kind of weird. That's there. Honestly, I don't know many doctors who actually have microscopes in their office. But maybe, he's enterprising. It's the 60s. They're trying to... So, Jane gets him to lay down. She's like, if only I could do this for him always. But though I'm sure he loves me, for some strange reason, he never suggests marriage. Because that is the way... it had to be. They always had, in the 60s, had to be that girlfriend, like, oh, maybe we can set. There's always something in the way, for Spider-Man. Was the biggest problem with that. Stanley liked his heroes having a certain amount of eggs, except for Hank Pym and the Wasp. They were a couple, kind of. And then sorry. You're here for looking at art and story, and less about editorial thoughts. So he goes back and he sinks into a deep sleep. Almost instantly, the weary Don Blake begins to dream of the events that have just transpired, beginning with the reappearance of the Tomorrow Man. It's Journey to Mystery 102. In his dream, Blake remembers how Zarko had forced Thor to go to the future with aid of mad conquest, and all there. He's having nightmares about it, and how he stops him. He dreams, how he stops him. And then it said, but even as the unhappy man dreams, his troubled dreams, another is also remembering bygone events. And it is here we find noble Odin, Lord of Asgard, father of Loki, deep in thought in the throne, as evil Loki, his stepson, plans new deviltry. What I always found amazing in the 60s Marvel is they all know Loki's evil. And it's not like the modern Loki but time and time again, Odin always gives Loki the benefit of the doubt of things he's doing. So obviously Loki is really good at lying, or Odin is. But notice, Odin has two eyes. He doesn't have that patch, which, we all know him from now. But all the art where they showed him back in the past, he always has only one eye. It's kind of weird. Since, he doesn't lose the eye until in the Thor 200s. So, and of course, Odin is upset that Jane Foster holds Thor's thoughts, and Odin and Loki is perhaps if Thor meets one who is more beautiful, more desirable, he will forget the mortal girl, and here in Asgard is just such one. And Odin's like, of course, the Enchantress. And Loki says, and so I should have thought of this long ago. The Enchantress may succeed where brute force has failed. And he shows up and takes off, and he's got a really weird headpieces, really. The costume is nice. I don't know, just... Minutes later, Loki appears to one who beauty is deemed to be the most more than any mortal man can resist. Enchantress notices her costume is not all green, but she has like this pink bit into it. And differing, of course, from what we see now. It says, only I know that the beauty of your form and face are matched only by the cruelty and ambition of your scheming heart. So I have a mission for you, my lovely one. Odin commands you to go to Earth and to win the heart of the one called Don Blake. Thus we also gain the love of Thor as well. And she is, how you must hate the mighty thunderer, god Loki. I know 'twas you who gave this plan to Odin, but no matter, I shall carry out this mission, for long have I wished to conquer the heart of handsome Thor. Sorry. So he goes, oh, my beauty, what a team we would make. If only, and she goes, do not say it, Loki. We're too much alike. We could never trust each other. And back when they used to have thought balloons, he thanks true Enchantress, for I know you would turn on me, too. At any time, it sounds that suits your merciless fancy. So she goes off and she's like, for a creative wardrobe for me immediately. She goes off to she appears in New York and demands people to make her thing. They're like, wow, she's like a goddess. And later, like a goddess, if only knew how close is to the truth. And she goes, look up the address of Dr. Donald Blake and take me there. Lady, I'll take any moon if you ask me. I find it really interesting that Cabby would like have a book where his address is. She shows the office, and doctor, this lady wants to see you. She wouldn't give me her name. And she goes, my name is no importance. So you may leave now, nurse. And Don's like, yes, what's the trouble? Speak up, I'm very busy. Really fancy computers in his office. He says, you can forget your work, mortal. Once you look at me, he goes, I believe I've developed an allergy, doctor. My hand seems to itch. Here, hold it. He's like, I don't see anything wrong. She goes, perhaps you look at my face. He goes, I seem to know this face. The fatal appeal, of course. It's stop this pretending. You're the Enchantress. How did you get it here and why? It's also simple. Oh, I twisted my ankle. Doctor, hold me. And she's doing her best. And she hasn't put the magic on her lips yet, like she does many times. And, of course, Jane comes in and is like, Jane, it's not what you think. But it happens all the time, Dawn. Handicap eye has lame leg. He cannot catch the heartbroken nurse. And Enchantress says, never has anyone broken from my embrace before. Jane, my darling, let me explain. She goes, even though he is immortal, Don Blake, he still possesses the strength of character of Thor. Well, I am strong, too. I shall not be defeated by man or thunder god. And then she's heads back to Asgard. Then again, assuming her mortal guise, the Enchantress returns to Asgard. So as long as Jane Foster lives, Thor will never succumb to my charms. So the only solution is Jane Foster must not live. Here in Asgard dwells one who can remove the mortal gore from me. Here I'll find the Executioner. There's Executioner hanging out. I'm glad they eventually got rid of that helmet. He's like, Enchantress, you've come to me at last. Does this mean you'll be mine? She's like, no. And she convinces him to go back to kidnap a girl. He's like, anything, I'll do whatever you will, and I would battle all of Asgard to win your heart. She goes, that's not necessary. I want you to go to Earth. And he gives her his picture. And he goes back. And meanwhile, distraught Don Blake apparently tries to locate the girl he loves. You can't tell me? I'm her landlady, not her keeper. I don't know where she went. So he goes out and he turns into Thor. And he's like, Commissioner, I need you to sound an all points alarm because you can't find the girl. So everybody in the world must take a moment. Art is amazing. I mean, he describes the Executioner. He's got an 8-foot tall character carrying a huge battle axe, causing panic. And he's like, 8 feet tall. It's got to be the Executioner. But I like the Executioner. It almost looks like he has like telescopic vision there. And he's like, I finally found you. As she's like leaving, but Thor was going to the Commissioner to have him find Jane Foster, which is crazy. And then he uses his axe, makes a vortex, and hides her, and she hides into it. And then Thor shows up and goes, no sooner does Jane Foster fade from mortal sight than the mighty Thor appears, recognizing his dangerous foe at a glance. He goes, what evil thing have you done, merciless one? And he's, Thor, you're too late. Jane Foster is already trapped in the land of limbo. And he says, that was your mission. Well, it shall not succeed, not so long as the Thunder God lives. And we have this, then so be it. Cursed Thor, let us see if you can survive the devastating energy of an exploding sun created by my whirling axe. And amazing. He's like, amazed that Thor survives. We get this quick battle here. The thing about it is Executioner's axe is so small. I mean, it looks like a huge, great battle axe. It looks like a one-piece kind of thing here, one single hand. Just holding single hand instead of two, less pull on the A longer axe would give him more force, basically. Have you forgotten, Executioner, how quickly the Thor can recover his unlimited strength? He fights and he knocks him away. And then he covers him the frost from the Earth's Arctic regions. Thor's like, you think to conquer Thor with a coating of mere frozen ice? This is how I answer your futile attacks. Now, unless you return Jane Foster from the land of Limbo, my wrath will exceed any fury you have ever known. Sorry. And then in Executioner he goes, you haven't beaten me yet. I can still cut through subspace, putting you in another universe which you'll never escape. And then Thor's hammer, he throws a hammer, and it swings through, he pulls away his axe, he goes, on your knees, Executioner. And then Executioner's like, stay your hands, my sword. Slaying me will avail you nothing, but if you would have me return the girl, I would make you an offer. And he goes, speak. Then Wicked One goes, for ages I have longed for your hammer. I desire it more than anything on earth or Asgard. If you pledge it to me, I will return the girl. If not, you lose a girl forever. Thor is like, without my hammer, I shall become Don Blake again, to remain so for all time. And yet, if Thor must be sacrificed, Jane Foster may live, I have no other choice. So return the girl, and the hammer shall be yours. By the word of Thor. He goes, that is it. He brings her back, and he goes, the females with no consequences. He brings her back, and goes, I'm back. I feel as though I've awakened from a bad dream. Thor, is that you? And he goes, alas, after 60 seconds have flown by, shall it be no longer. And he goes, now the hammer's mine. So Thor puts the hammer down, and he can't pick it up. What happened to him? Or why don't you speak? He goes, I cannot. I didn't realize he was also saying he wouldn't speak. I forgot. None but Thor can lift the Uru hammer, but it's mine. Now I must lift it. I must. 30 seconds have passed already. I can raise the handle, but cannot lift it off the ground. But this is madness. What good can it do me? Suddenly, the Enchantress realized she's been betrayed. She goes, you have betrayed me. You vowed to remove the girl forever. He goes, the voice, it is the Enchantress. He goes, my arms, my legs, no. Have you forgotten the power of my sorcery? Do you think I'm called Enchantress for naught? As for you, Thunder God, Enchantress is appearing. Jane must not witness this. You must flee, Jane Foster. Now, may your very life may be at stake. She says, yes, I'll go. And then 53 seconds from the time Thor turned his hammer, as Jane Foster dashes out of sight, the Enchantress takes form and then goes, you still look at Executioner? Then I shall work another spell on you. He goes, Thor, save me. Only you can do it. Take back your hammer. I release you from your pledge, but save me. He goes, it is a miracle with only seconds to spare. And then he grabs his hammer. He goes, come no further, God of Thunder. Remember, nothing can conquer the Enchantress. The spell is a weaver without limit. And Thor goes, I know that only too well, but beautiful one. But Thor fears no spell, no foe that lives. She goes, then it is time for you to learn the meaning of fear. At the gesture of me, I shall transform your Uru hammer into a deadly serpent. Thor goes, you forget the hammer is forged by Odin himself. No power of the universe save his can affect this enchant weapon. And she's, you're right, I have failed, but if my power cannot move, what of my beauty? He goes, were I only human, I could not resist you, but my heart is the heart of a god, and knows only love for me. And Executioner goes, if the spell's lifting, I'm becoming myself again. Thor says, you have both caused enough damage, enough confusion on this hapless planet. Earth is under my protection, and so I shall banish you. Return to Asgard. Return, I say. And he uses hammer as a vortex. Then before another move can be made, both the Enchantress and the Executioner are caught. And the Thor caught in a vortex caused by Thor's whirling hammer. And the two demigods are hurled back to Asgard where they belong, defeated. And Thor says, as for his mighty thunder god himself, he soon finds a secluded corner where he makes sure he's safe from prying eyes. Once again, I shall become the immortal Dr. Don Blake and return to my beloved. Hailing a passing taxi, Don Blake overtakes Jane Foster before she can reach the building. And so, well, if it isn't Dr. Blake, how old is your new blonde girlfriend, Doctor? And he goes, Jane, she was nothing to me. Let me explain. She has no need to explain. You're not married to me. You're free to kiss any glamour girl you want. As for me, I happen to be waiting for Thor. He goes, perhaps you won't mind if I wait with you, Jane? And then he thinks, For as long as I am Don Blake, it is liable to be a long, long wait. And she is how I hoped he'd return and try to make up with me, but I won't admit it to him. Perhaps I can make him jealous with Thor. And then, Odin. Meanwhile, a pair of the wisest, most of all the all-seeing eyes in the galaxy witnesses in tableau. I can't pronounce actually. You have just seen as indestructible rage fills the heart of Odin. So they still are in love. By Asgard, my son may not love immortal Thor, may not defy his father Odin. Now the time is for words past. Now I must act. And act he did, as we Marvelites have noticed for issue after issue after issue. Now, who says this isn't the Marvel age of sheer consistency? So, anyways, this is the Thor King Size special. Notice Odin has two eyes. This is from 1966. But I just want to show it off. I am hoping one day to have for myself a very good copy of Journey Mystery 103, because that would make me happy. One of my personal goals. But I wanted to show that off. And sorry I don't have the real thing to show you, but it's pretty good. The Destroyer story is pretty good, and the Mad Merlin was okay, but it's cheaper than the Journey to Mystery if you can't afford a copy of that yet, and you want the copy of their origin. It's in a reprint book. King Size Thor Special number 2, 1966. So anyways, tell me what you think in the comments. If you like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me if you like the Enchantress. Maybe it's just me. Tell me what you think of the character. Do you have a copy of this? Do you have a copy of the original, of the first appearance? Are you a fan of the old Thor books, The Journey to Mystery? There's some good stories back then. Anyways, I appreciate you from watching. If you like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts below. I would love for some feedback. Anyways, the Stormcastle, thanking you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. Have a good day.